Create broadcast.
You went and streamed?
Mm-hmm.
It's okay.
Good. You're good. You're streaming.
Okay. If you'll help me set up that window in studio.
Mm-hmm.
Yay! I was pretty much ready anyways.
Sorry. I know.
What better way than just be thrown off the boat and learn how to swim?
I know, right?
Hello everybody, welcome back. Do I have sound? Okay, cool. My wife just said create stream broadcast and start streaming, so I didn't have the chance to do any last minute checks. I'm getting my feet wet right now.
You want this turned on?
Sure. Yeah, and that probably would help. Just pull the desk off the... I'll be there just a second, guys. I did not know I was streaming.
Sink or swim.
Sink or swim. Sink or swim. Nobody's here. Well, actually, I think that just is a delay to show up if there's people here or not. Maybe this will help me sitting like this. Alright, it says there's an excellent connection. Everything looks good. I'm in focus.
Yeah, you got somebody?
Yay! Hello, person.
Okay.
Glad to have you. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back.
Okay.
I am doing a... Thank you, baby, for helping me.
You're welcome. Come on, mommy dog.
Yeah. I am working on the Dinosaur in this stream, and I'm going to be... I've already got all that electric tape off of this, and I wrapped it in masking tape, which is what I said I was going to do, but I'm doing it a little different this time. I'm using Apoxie Sculpt, and I realized last time I said that I did something incorrect, which was the electric tape, but this is actually something I'm familiar with. It's completely okay. Apoxie Sculpt is a self-hardening 2-part agent. There's 2 different types of material in here. You got this gray looking stuff and this white looking stuff. If you let this sit for a long time, it starts getting this, it separates, it gets this oil like stuff on top, but it's actually it's still good. It's rather expensive to order, to buy this stuff, but I'm not gonna let that bother me anymore, because I had this once before. I bought this once before, and I was so concerned about how much it cost. I think I wound up not using it all, and it went bad. So what good is that? Besides, one day I would like to make a complete sculpture using just this. You don't have to put this in the oven. You mix these 2 parts together in equal amounts, and it's a super rock hard. It's almost like fiberglass or something, but it's not quite like that. It's just it's an epoxy resin. My apologies if I'm saying that incorrectly or whatever, but it's really, really durable, really rigid, which is good for the clay anyways. So what I plan on doing is mixing up little amounts of this at a time, and I'm going to pad out the feet and the legs a little bit. I'll use this to actually do it, and I'm going to put a shell around all this masking tape that you see here, and that'll be pretty much it for this stream. I'm kind of hoping that this doesn't take very long, because I'll break this all down, stop the stream, and I'm going to start another stream building earrings, butterfly earrings. I really would like to do that today, but we'll see. I don't really expect this to take too long. One thing I discovered is I don't recommend you trying this, but I ran this through the pasta machine. As long as it's cleaned afterwards, it actually flattens it out and works just like normal clay. But this material, in a nutshell, it basically has different windows of work time. The very beginning, when you first mix it, it's really soft and really tacky, so it's not a good time for details. But as it starts getting a little stiffer and a little stiffer, you can actually start tooling details and stuff. right down to the last moments where it's almost non-impressionable anymore. And then from there it just cures. It reaches its full strength in 24 hours. I have a piece right here. I've used this before. You've seen me use it making these little things like this. This right here, I'll go ahead and show you, is the same core that I used to make the mouth in that stream for the dinosaur. I'm doing it in Apoxie Sculpt as well. But I used some clay. I wrapped that core in some clay to help remove it. And hopefully this is not going to be difficult to remove. I don't really need this right now. I can always cut it out of there. But this is a very thin piece, and it's really, really hard, very stiff. It doesn't move, and I just wanted to kind of redo all of this. I do realize that video 2 in this series is now completely irrelevant because I'm coating this again in something else, and the electric tape, once again, don't use electric tape because it's a bad idea. Hello. Next week, Discovery Shark Week, so I want to watch. Oh, okay. Oh, cool. That's cool. Appreciate you letting me know. And Shark Week, you know, I've never really watched that. I think I will because I like teeth. I like sharp teeth. And those buggers got lots of them. They're very interesting, scary, very scary creatures. Sharks. There's a lot of different kinds of sharks too. You know, I'd like to make a shark one day. I think that'd be pretty cool. I think just setting a bunch of like spear-like teeth in something would be fun to do. But this is a time-sensitive type thing. So what I mean by that is once I get this completely coated, I won't be able to do anything else with it. And I'm hoping I could do this rather quickly. I'll also be doing the legs a little bit because I'll basically end the stream and reset the camera angle, and I wanted to build some butterfly earrings. I thought that would be kind of interesting to do. I'm starting rather early, so maybe I can probably do both of these things. But for now, we'll focus on the task at hand. So let's see, have I missed anything? Yes, the video 2 where I coated this in that clay, and once I get ahead in watch time, I'll take that video down completely. I can't do it now because I'll actually lose partnership. I've been struggling with watch time since my return because all the hours at the other end of the year that I'm replacing each day are higher than the hours that I'm getting now. So whenever I run a stream like this, it really helps my watch time. And also I like to kind of not have to edit. That's the benefit to this, not having to edit. But this is a very messy material. I recommend using gloves. I don't have any right now. We got some on the list. I'll be ordering some. I know that doesn't help me right now. However, I'll just make do. I'll do what I have to do. But this material, it's best to do small amounts at a time, depending on what you're doing. I'm actually using quite a bit of it. I'll be wrapping the legs in just some kind of simple snake or something and a shell to go around all of that. So I can pretty much guarantee that I'll use, quite a bit of it. But normally what you do is you just do tiny amounts, and they got to be equal amounts. Like, just eyeball it. You make little balls, basically. And like that one, that white is a little smaller than that right there. So just add more until it looks somewhat the same. Maybe a teeny less. I don't know how perfect it's got to be. Just as close as you can get to equal amounts is what the formula calls for. You know, it's hard to judge the size of different things because they're different colors. That looks close enough. So normally what you would do is you'd mix this up, and you may not even want to use it right away. You let it sit for 10, 20 minutes till it'll start firming up a little bit. To give it whatever firmness you're looking for, you wait for that to happen. But there are little windows of work areas, and you can easily miss your window working with this material. It's very time sensitive. So let me grab. I know I'm gonna need a piece of wax paper. And I got everything else. It's right here. Just for down the road. I put a piece of wax paper over my marble right here. And because this stuff it's easy to manage when it's still not cured, but once it cures, and if you leave it on your tools and stuff, it's actually a nightmare. But I'm gonna go ahead and get started. If anybody has any questions or whatever, you can just, you know, in the comments. I'll be checking on that and everything. This is completely fine to use in conjunction with polymer clay. Basically, you have to have a foundation or a surface or whatever, or a structure like the armature needs to be stable. It doesn't need to be moving around and all wobbly and things like that. So this will absolutely enhance this sculpture and make it a really nice foundation for me to apply my clay later on. And because I'm doing this in this material, that'll pretty much give me enough clay. This is approximately 1 pound of green. I think so. It looks like I'm missing a little bit of it. But because I'm not starting with just that clay, I'll actually be able to use solid green. I'm hoping to actually do all the details and stuff. So I can get it somewhat close with this. Now, normally we use foil everywhere we can, and I did this on the body. It's bulked out quite nicely. That saves a lot of money in material. This is actually, I think, cost-wise, pound for pound, it costs way more than polymer clay. So it's not an economic direction to go with this, but it's a cool one. And I'm just at the point now where I'm tired of limiting the things I think and do are based around that, you know, that mighty dollar. I have this material, I've had it for like a half a year now. I'm not using it except for a couple little shells and stuff, and I'm using it. If I need it again, I'll order it again. I'll also be ordering some fresh black cause clay and glow in the dark. I am really looking forward to getting that glow in the dark. And just seeing the consistencies of the new packs of clay. I know I need black and all, but before I order some colors for an actual project, I'm going to give another shot at really conditioning this stuff, putting the softener in my clay and getting it really nice. And I'm going to try to do another cane, a butterfly cane. I really like making cane work, and the butterfly cane I used to make earrings, and they sell pretty well. And I've given them away to people at my wife's work and stuff like that. But this is mixed pretty well. Oh, got a gnat. And it's kind of got this weird texture to it. See how it tears? Almost as if it's dry. But I notice as you start working it on to whatever you're doing, it seems like it gets wet. I do believe you can use a little bit of water and it'll speed up the process on curing it. I don't know when I read that, but I remember reading something about that. So I have this little amount right here, and what I can do is I can set this to the side and make another one. because I know that's not going to do all of these legs. I'm going to go ahead and make some more, and I can immediately start working the body. So we're not too worried about the time sensitive nature of this, because I have quite a bit that I'm covering. Quite a bit of coverage to do. We jumped right on here with 4 viewers already. This is really good. Thank y'all for stopping by. Hopefully I don't put you to sleep. I'm building a dinosaur. I'm trying to make this is my inspiration. It's the good dinosaur. I watched the majority of that show, and it was more like just a visual experience than it was a story, and it was really nice. I liked it. I want to do a playful, carefree dinosaur, not an actual, correct, something that's actually in the reality. So using cartoon characters and stuff like that is a good way to kind of relax the seriousness of something. And maybe down the road I'll actually try to make a Brachiosaurus or a T-Rex or a Raptor or something. Would be kind of cool. So these look about the same, maybe a teeny pinch. Oh, that's the clay I just did. Just a teeny bit more of the white. And I will mix these two together. One thing I did do, while I got all this cleared and off, you can see that pretty well, is this leg right here was just straight back. It went straight back and down, and it was just so weird to me. So I gave it a little different positioning, posture, I guess is the proper word for that. And I like it. It's something. He's doing something with his legs, and it doesn't look too awkward. And in the back, they're kind of spread out a little bit, like he's, just ready to run, or just... It's the scene where he first meets that little wild child, and he's, leaning down saying hi, and he's being careful in case he needs to bolt. That's what the wide stance is for, and in the front, it's not too much of a wide stance. I don't know, I like it. It's something that'll, I'll do something with it. Once I do this, none of this will be able to be moved after it's cured. This doesn't bend, this breaks. It's not a flexible material, and having said that, it's pretty strong. I've made fangs and tongues and stuff, like the cobra tongue, with this, and it's really, really strong. I mean, it's not, I don't know, it's a trade-off. With the polymer clay, you had the flexible nature of it, but I don't know, I just wanted to go this route instead of covering it in clay, baking it, and then covering that again. I want to use this stuff. I've had it for a half a year now, this material. Last time I had it, I let it go to waste because I was trying to save it, and which is a silly thing. But you know this is mixed when it starts coming off and doing that. It's starting to separate a little bit. So we can call this mixed. And I'm doing my best to try to keep this mess. I'm just basically really forcefully running my hand over a rag. And believe it or not, that just took... This stuff's actually quite messy. If you're just now tuning in, you absolutely want to wear gloves. If I had my way, I would have some like surgical gloves right now. Just pop those on and mix up your stuff, and maybe take them off then, because handling it's not that big of an issue. It's mixing it, trying to get it right. Like you just saw it it separates. So I'm just trying to stay on top of that. And so this is the one we just mixed up, and this is the one we just now, piece of rag. So if you look how this one's squeezing, and this one even at this short time, it's noticeably softer, this newer one. It's very subtle, but it has, you can look up the different windows of time as far as like when it's really, this is something you'd use to fill in areas or adhere pieces together. It's very tacky. As you can see, it comes off into my fingers and stuff. So I'll start with this one. And what I'm going to do right away is I'm going to put some around the feet and the legs. But what I want to do first, I want like little, I want it to be able to slide it around on here. I don't want it to stick to this. So I'm just going to take a piece of wax paper, 4 pieces actually, and use these as pads for the feet to go onto. Just something simple, 4 little squares. I'm going to put these over to the side. And I'll be using snakes. I'm just going to coil a snake up the legs. I'm telling you, this should be pretty darn simple. And I'm going to put a flat piece underneath. Now, I already tried this when I made this, where'd he go? The head. I made a new head for this. It's the same cord that I used on the last thing with a little bit of cosplay on there to help shape it and everything. Oh no, what was I just saying? Huh. Let me get back to you on that. Oh, hello, Kayleen. Thank you for stopping by. Oh my gosh, I just had a brain fart. I was saying something. Oh, I used this in the pasta machine. That seems like a scary thing to do. I don't recommend you doing it. I mean, because, you know, I do new things and sometimes it blows up in my face. So I don't want anybody to lose equipment or whatever. But what I basically did is I ran this through the pasta machine and it gets perfect sheets, which I'll use for the body, obviously. And then I just kind of wiped it down with this. I just used this as a cleaner on a rag while it was running, which is kind of dangerous, I guess, because it's electric. It's not a hand cranked one. But it all came off the roller, and I just wiped it down with some of this to make sure it's like a lubricant as well. But I'm going to roll this through at about, well, for the bottom of the feet, I'll probably do, I don't necessarily need the full thickness, but I'll probably do, I don't know, 5 of 8. So whatever that is. The KitchenAid pasta machine's a little different. So let me just stick a piece through here. Oh no, it's stuck. No, see, look how nice that did. And that's actually quite amazing, to be honest, because just in case I need a little piece more. Just considering the nature of this, it's like a very sticky and quite destructive if it were to be stuck in that. I don't know if you heard all of that, what I just said. Sorry, I was talking while the machine was going. So, I just need 4 pieces. You see how small these circles are down here? It's not very big pieces I need. And I'll double check everything, make sure everything's sitting flat. I pretty much had a good handle on this earlier. I don't know where my pretty pliers went, so I'll use the ugly ones. That one needed to be bent just a little bit. And I got a gnat in here. Maybe this one too. I want these as flat as possible, obviously. But with my new bends on the legs and everything, I just made sure these feet all sit flat. And I'm going to take this, like I said, I don't need a whole lot, and that's pretty good. It's in the shot. Just big enough for the feet to sit on. So we call this 1, 2, 3. And I did mix up a little bit more because I thought I didn't think I would have enough. That's 4 for 4 feet. 4 for 4. And I'm going to sit these on this wax paper. I'm doing this so it can move around on this, because obviously you see how that doesn't do that? I'm just trying to think ahead. I want this to be able to be moved around and picked up and everything, and I don't want the feet to be ripped off every time I do that. So this is a good way to prevent that from happening. And one more piece. And my apologies, I have a gnat. He snuck in here somehow, and he wants to be on YouTube, so oh well. Alright, so for this next part, I'm going to just stick these. I think you can see what I'm doing. Oh yeah, this is a very good angle I got going on, and it's not in my face this time, which is super helpful. I do have the camera tilted slightly at an angle. You probably didn't notice that until I said something, so my bad. Alright, you see how those are all positioned on there? Let me do this one a little bit further back. Got a good angle back here because that's the most bent. This one's the most bent. It goes in this way. It has this angle right here is the strongest out of all of them, which would cause this angle to be the strongest as well. So I'm just making sure I have plenty for the leg. This will also give me a clean bottom, and what I could do is just gently push down on these, on all 4. Not like all the way to the marble, but just a little bit to kind of keep it on there. So woo, check him out. He's got flip-flops now. We're doing good. It's almost done. Nah. Alright, so the next part, I'm going to roll out some snakes and coil that up going up the legs. And that should be pretty much all I need to do for the legs. I got my trusty ruler here, which I don't know. Man, I don't know if I should do that with this. Yeah, why not? They make more. They make more. They make more at the store. This is my little technique I like to do to make snakes kind of even all the way. It's like it works pretty good. It makes them nice and clean, shiny. This would be, you could do a test piece, just basically do a wrap, go like this, and wrap it to where it's all the way. And that's actually too thick. I already knew it was too thick. I'm just trying to let you know what's up. But I'll just use my fingers and extrude this a little bit thinner. It could be quite thin, to be honest, because I'll have some leeway for the actual clay that I'll be using. But what I want to do is make up a couple snakes, get a little bit of this prepared, because I can aim to make these all the same diameter, or that's the goal. See, this is still quite soft, and I'm using half of it for a snake. That'll make it more manageable. This material is quite interesting. I've never really, I've never built an actual sculpture with Apoxie Sculpt. Some people actually use this as their sculpting compound. One of the benefits right away to using this is you do not have to use the oven to cure it. It's air dry, so to speak. I say that because it even says it on the container. Well, no, it says self-hardening, which is more accurate way of saying it. Because air dry would imply that it has water in it, like a potting clay or something. This doesn't really have water in it. It's two different compounds that when mixed together, they kick off. It gets a little warm, and they get hard. and it's a permanent predicament, and it's time sensitive, so you have only a certain amount of time per each little window of you know, operation. I'm trying to get these pretty close. Trying to work and talk at the same time. I feel like I already jumped out here and I'm doing pretty good, relatively speaking, compared to some of my other streams. I'm a little slow to get to start. I'm awkward and everything, and I'm just, you know what, I'm feeling like I got this today. The social aspect of it, like I'm here for y'all. If y'all need to talk to me or have questions, let me get that other piece rolled out too. I'm gonna set the dinosaur back here, over here. I want it out of the way so I can have more room. He'll come back in the scene pretty soon, I promise. I'm gonna roll this last piece out and we'll see if this is enough to wrap the legs. And you'll see how I'll go about doing that. It's gonna be pretty cool. I say that like I know what it is I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm making it up. I make it all up. And I feel a little embarrassed about the whole electric tape ordeal. I was just, you know what, sometimes going around curved surfaces with this tape, it doesn't, it's just kind of annoying. It's not like a deal breaker, like it's, if that's the worst thing I experienced when sculpting, then I'm doing really good. I was just trying to make it easier, make it better. I don't see anything wrong with that part of the situation, but I probably should have tested it first and see how it went, and then still did it, but showed you, been more, you know, like I know what I'm talking about, like, hey, this is why you don't use electric tape, and go ahead and do it so you can see what happens, instead of like being completely surprised. Be more professional and all. I received a comment in the electric tape video saying, no, don't do things off camera. We all learn from each other. From, I think it was Jim's Equipment or something, which I appreciate you saying that, because yeah, I agree. You know what I mean? I don't need to really be, I like to do everything, I like to document everything that I'm doing. Like literally everything. I don't ever sculpt off camera. If that sounds, I don't know if that sounds weird. Probably. And I don't know why it's that way. Okay, so can you see, you can see what I'm doing. I'll put my hand right here. I'm gonna take this snake. It's a common building material, like it's a shape that's really common in sculpting. You probably hear it a lot. Other artists say it. But I'll just stick this down here, and I'm going to, actually, I will lay it just outside of the wire, or perhaps even use the wire as a guide on where I'm going to put it, and then immediately suck it into where it comes to the leg, something like this. Maybe push it down there in that little hole, and then I will carefully just start wrapping this. I could do sheets and wrap it that way, but I'm just thinking this might be a little quicker. I'm still getting material on to this thing, but as far as efficiency and execution and stuff, we'll have to see how it does. I'm pretty confident in what I'm doing right now. But I'm wrapping it to where it is pretty much touching that wire, the galvanized wire. Not too much of a hole or empty space in behind it. And as I do it, I'm getting a little more understanding every little second how it works and what's going on. You notice how it splits a little bit just because of the nature of this, but almost instantly touching it, it closes up. This is okay. I'm going to come back and I'm going to work this on just a little bit. I'm going to try to get this not so Michelin tire type or Pillsbury. Just make it more, you know, into the what you would expect. And uh-oh, those snakes were touching. I know that needs a little bit more right there, but I'm going to go ahead and start with this whole long piece and do the same thing that I just did. Perhaps this will offer a new camera angle. I want to enclose that wire down there. They're all relatively the same size. They're not exact. I wasn't thinking in terms of making those exact for as far as, you know, so the process would be easier. I wasn't thinking like process, but it's still close enough. They're close enough in sizes to where I can just use it as a guide. It needs to be encased anyways, to be honest, so it actually doesn't matter. So this piece of clay, technically speaking, is softer than the first one I used. I think I do believe this is the newer stuff I just did, and that just tore. So I'll just stick it back on there and keep it rolling. It's quite a bit of clay to be managing, wrapping. But I tried to make these snakes the same size to help with consistency. And I'm shooting for a size that's smaller, not considerably, you know, somewhat smaller than the actual item is going to be. If you look at that picture again, he's got some big old legs on him. They're just kind of thick. He's got even thicker knees, so this will be plenty, just fine, in my opinion. And this takes a little bit of finesse. I'm being super gentle with it. I'm actually enjoying this. I'm seeing clay going on here, and I couldn't be any happier. There's a storm in the distance, real distance, rumbling. So I was worried that I wasn't going to be over the stream. Sorry, my typing got all over the place here. Oh, you're good. You can type as much as you want. I appreciate the company. Kaoline, what'd you say though? Looks like an efficient method. Looks like. Oh, okay, I see what you mean. Oh, a typo? Yeah, that's me. I get by with spell checker, and sometimes now lately it's not just spell checker. I've noticed it's been underlining things that I type, and when I click it, it'll say stuff like commas or changing an actual word, which is, I don't know, maybe they kind of did something like Grammarly. But I use that too. It just makes me seem smarter, because I'm not the greatest with English, my native language, my only language, and that's talking like I actually know English, barely. Honestly, I don't understand it. I don't understand how there's silent letters and stuff. It just drives me crazy. I was just making fun of that. I always make fun of that. Like, I don't call gnats gnats. I call them gnats because why not? There's a G in there. And use this piece over here. I want to start that though where the other one left. Seems like that would make more sense. Which is right here. Still in the shot, pretty good. Not too worried about having those connect, because the more I fuss with this, it's like super gentle work. These will tear, it's tearing, you see how it's splitting? And they'll outright come apart altogether. So I just basically butted that one up to the end of the previous one, and that's good enough. Maintaining that, that's actually quite well. It's tight around there. And look how similar these look in size. I know they look ridiculous. Don't worry about that right yet. They're way too soft to work right now. I'm gonna call it and say that professionally. Just a minute, a couple of minutes, 10 minutes or so, we can do that side and we'll see what's happening. And once again, I'm gonna just outside or on top of that wire, really consistent wise, somewhat the same size as the others. And these could be carved and filed and sanded and stuff, tooled. They can be completely tooled, machined and stuff, so to speak, after it cures. And of course I could work on it while it's soft, which is actually the main purpose of this. You kind of work on it as you go. As it gets firmer, that's when you'll be able to do more and more details, because as you push on the clay, it won't like just crush and bulge. It'll basically leave impressions. It's actually quite interesting. I find this clay very interesting. It's just expensive. It's quite expensive, like $20-something for a pound, unless I'm incorrect, which is a lot more than what polymer clay costs. But you're not limited to the size of an oven. You would make a structure, an armature of something, and try to bulk it out with foil, but you could buy a couple buckets of this stuff and literally make a big full standing angel or something. I don't know if you'd want to make something to sit outside in the yard. I don't know quite the durability of it that way. But same goes for polymer clay. I don't know how well they go outside and how long they last. I'm sure if you put a sealer on it, it would make it a little bit longer. It's a good thing I brought that up just now, because I had this idea of ordering a generic metal mailbox. You know those silver ones, the common ones that you see, the standard mailbox. Order one online from Amazon, and then like drill a couple few, like 4 holes in it, and put some wire through it, or some screws, or maybe some eye hook, the screws that's got an eye on the end, and install them, and just run wire through all that, and make it like an iguana or a lizard or a snake or something, kind of overlapping both sides of the mailbox, and bake the whole thing in the oven, and it would be removable, and just sell it as a custom mailbox. It would be bolted on there, so if they'd have to steal your whole mailbox. I actually think that would be an awesome idea, but and use colored clay. But I don't know how the sun would really play. I don't know if it would play nice. I couldn't guarantee it for a very long time. Because my mother-in-law has ordered a fish, like a big bass mailbox, and it was, I think it's plastic, and it came painted, like professionally painted and everything. Now years later, it's all white, all the paint done chipped and flaked away and stuff. So obviously, you can't guarantee. The sun is just so bad for everything. Your skin, well, it's not bad for plants. But most of the time, though, it's not good for things we're meddling with. It just destroys everything. Alright, so that clay I mixed was enough to do 3 legses. 3 leg. I got a little piece left, so I need to mix me up a teeny bit more. It looks like my first one, this is my first one, is a little bit girthier than these. That is just expertise, experience. Let me do another little piece right here. That just comes with experience. I'm basically getting better at it. And it sometimes it'll show literally from scene to scene. Like if you're building fingers or something, you might find the first finger is really like it got injured in a gardening accident. And by the last finger, it looks so professional. That's just natural experience. You gain experience as you go. So I will mix me up another little chunk of this stuff. We're back at 5 years again. This is awesome. I appreciate everybody who has stopped by. I know it's the weekend. It's what, Saturday night? And to see you here watching this and not out doing their normal things, it means a lot. I appreciate everybody here. Double checking the comments. I'm just trying to put these into a ball, that way I can see. This seems to be the stuff that's sticky. One's a hardener, and one's if it's anything like fiberglass resin, you got a hardener, a catalyst, not a harder. I don't know. I'll just stop there. I just don't know. But the white stuff feels stickier than the darker stuff. And interesting enough, they both make a white. It actually says on there that this is, oh, it's on the lid. White, it says white, stone white is the name of the color. And I think it comes in different colors too. But this is going to give me like the most absolute, this is really good. It's hard material. I have pieces that I made and have like in a little jar, excess piece. I try to take excess pieces and make little tooths and fangs and stuff. This was before I found cause clay. Right now I wouldn't make a tooth out of anything but cause clay. Just because of the nature of it, it ain't gonna bend or break. Well, it'll bend, but it won't, break. It's rubber. I will clean that pasta machine when I'm done. The cool thing about that, my wife said she bought that. It's like an attachment for the KitchenAid. She claims she got it on Amazon for $15, like 3-piece set. And I think she's just trying to make me feel good. Like, don't worry about this. I never use it. You can use it because my pasta machine broke. I've had the same pasta machine for 15 years. The hand crank one. And the gears, it just finally broke. So now I have her KitchenAid in here and these little things. But if they're $15, I mean, to me, that's almost a disposal, like a it's expendable. It's disposable, or not disposable. If it breaks, it's not that big of a deal. I mean, I try not to consume things unnecessarily, but I'm just, we actually saw a POS machine on Facebook Marketplace that was white, which would go so good in my studio. They wanted $50 for this thing, and I wanted it so bad. Oh my goodness. They're quite expensive. They're like $150, $180. Even if it ran for only a little while. I mean, the thing is, you don't know what it's been through. So maybe I avoided a lemon. That's a phrase you use for something. People sell you bad things. They know something's wrong with it, or but anyways, I use this to mix my clay now. This, oh, it says it's 275 watt KitchenAid. Max 275 watt. This looks nice and mixed. I tend to mix it to where it starts separating on my fingers. That tells me for sure that we got a good, it's been thoroughly mixed. And I'll see if I can't just get this off my fingers. Absolutely, you want to use some gloves. It's actually a chemical. You don't want to be touching it anyways. I just don't have any right now. I got them on the order. We just ordered them. I know that doesn't help me right now, and I'm doing this right now. So, and actually, look how, I don't know if you know how quite amazing that is, but I'm actually rubbing this off quite well. All right. That's good. I don't want to run off to the bathroom every 5 minutes. So now I'm going to roll me out another piece, perhaps a little less. And I'm doing that because it's longer than my roller. It's just too long to manage. See, this feels warm. It changes, it causes a chemical reaction, heats up, and the two parts chemically react to each other and it hardens. Self-hardens. And that actually is rolling out quite well. And I'm still going to use my little trick here. This is like a super finessey type. Like I'm just barely, I'm only touching this enough to physically make it roll. It's like barely, I'm barely touching this. And it's working. I'm trying to get, oh, you know what? That was a good thing having this piece here. It gives me a little, this is actually thin. This is thinner. I know this is thinner than what I was working with. And see how less, well, it still bends versus, I mean, that's like instant. You see the difference? Maybe? I don't know if that was on camera. I'm still in the shot. Alright, double check the comments. We're doing good. I'm making good time. Wow, it's been 53 minutes. This is impossible. What, time goes weird when I'm sculpting. I feel like I'm moving rather quickly, and I look at the time. It's been 2 days. Okay, so I'm going to, normally I would like to let this soften a little bit, or set up a little bit, but I can manage. And a general around that wire down there as a guide, and then it's very sticky. It even wants to stick to the wax paper down in that wrap around. This is almost like pure purpose. I'm not trying to fix the feet while I'm at it. I'm doing one function. I'm wrapping this. I can come back later and push all this clay around and it should work fine. Like it should work really good for me. I have to be even more careful with this because it's so soft. Like, goodness. Do you see me touch it? Like, get it stuck to itself? It was okay. It didn't mess up. But this is cracking way more, where I should have let it sit just a little bit longer. Yeah, that actually came off. So I'll just start again. As long as I'm getting the clay to the wire as close as possible, it'll be the same principle as the other stuff. The cracks don't matter. You'll actually be surprised how nicely it's like normal clay, except right now it's super tack and really loose, so you can't do nothing technical with it. And I don't believe this to be a very technical thing what I'm doing. I'm just wrapping a tiny snake around this. If it falls off, I put it back on close to where it was and I keep going. It's the clay. We just need the clay in the area, in the general area. We don't want it away from the wire either, because not only will that make it bigger in girth, it'll make it loose in there. Like if this clay were to move around after it's hardened, it would move all around in there. But this is actually going to be pretty rigid. I don't think you would be able to fill anything like that with this type of clay. What I could have did is, instead of putting this on right away immediately, I could have it's like I did right here, set this to the side, mix up some more for start working the body, and then go back to that one part, because it's coming off quite a bit here and there. I can always take it off, roll it back up into a ball, and start again too. This is not a final thing. At least at this stage, I absolutely can do that. Like 40-50 minutes from now, that wouldn't be practical. I would be able to get it off, but I don't think it would be very usable for trying to get around a surface like this, just because it had set up so much. So let me get this wrapped on there, and then I'll decide, do I like it enough? Is it all here, the clay all here, in the general manner that I'm wanting? I'll get a look. I'll spin it around and get a look. But first, before I spin it around, I'm going to write a number 4 by this thigh hip. That'll let me know that this was the 4th and last piece. So let me do that right now. Piece of charcoal. I know this to be number 4. Right, a 4 there. And it's the worst looking one. So if we can't remember what 4 means, we'll know what this is. Alright, so how does that look? There's cracks everywhere, but that doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Just where it broke off and I put it back again, do I still have enough clay in every little area? I think this will work. I think I can, the clay's here, ready to be, tooled and manipulated. So I think that's fine. And that was the last leg I did, which is leg 4. So this will be the last leg that I work. Now, we remember this is absolutely leg 1. I probably should have just thought this, because it's rougher. See the splitting? I didn't wait. Listen to that. And this would be 2, probably. I'm gonna guess. And we know that the other one is, just because of math. There's only one left. So yes, this is firming up a little bit. So from here, I'm just going to lightly pinch this. Try to alternate where I'm doing that. That way I don't make it basically a square. And I can feel how it's firmed up a little firmer. This is good. And it also doesn't need to be perfect, because technically speaking, as it gets more and more firmer, I'll be able to add more and more pressure without damaging it or moving it out of line to where, you know, in a way where I don't want it to be. It's weird. Okay, so the longer you wait with this type of clay, it shifts from you gain control for detail, but you lose control for, you know, moving it around a lot. And right now, I just want to compress some of these snakes together. I think that's all I'm doing. I can also pick this up like this. Just, that really helps a lot. I'm kind of just rotating the whole thing, and I'm doing this number with my finger. Like if it was not a big item, I would be basically, I'm doing this with my finger, my thumb and my big finger and this finger, my thumb and index finger. Ah, I got him. I got the gnat. All right. And then it probably looks weird doing it like this, but it actually is helping quite a bit. And this is a type of material where you don't want to be really forceful. It's basically lots of movements will slowly just make it melt or mold into what you're doing. You can do it slowly rather than pressing down really hard. I mean, you can. Look how nice this did right here. Do it right here at the knee. And it's a little weird spinning it. I know that's got to look weird on camera, but I'm just kind of figuring out as I go what would be the best way to do this. Sorry, my talking's gonna go down because I'm like high focus right now. It's hard to do something at really high focus and chat. And it may look like I'm getting quite forceful, but I'm actually not. Once again, I'm just light pressure with my finger and my pointer finger and this is the first leg. Right here, it split the knee. Do you see that little gap? Is it even connected, or is it just basically two snakes? It's two snakes. So I'll just continue doing what I'm doing, and I can pipe a piece of clay in there in a minute. It's not that big of a deal. Like, I don't necessarily have to have these connect right here. If I feel like it's going to compromise the flow of what I got going, I'll leave that and just put the piece in later. Or, yeah, a piece of soft even. Like a freshly made piece. That's something you would pack in something that's firmer. But I'll just keep just a little bit more on this one. And this is kind of determining the size and shape of it. It's evening up all that clay. And it's actually removing the snake effect, the coil, quite well. I noticed that when making the head to this has been lightly sanded. But as I was just I ran it through the polish machine, I think on setting 3, which is third from the smallest. So it's quite strong material. Just a little bit right here and down by the foot. The coil stuff doesn't have to be gone like all the way anyways. Right here, I'll just, instead of spinning it, because believe it or not, even though I'm trying to match the way my finger's moving in the wrist movement, it's just, that's probably what caused that to come apart like that. But already it's back together. Just sitting here for 2 seconds going like this in a couple places has put that back together. And down here I have a little gap. So right here is where I can do a little bit of work. I can choose to do a little bit of work like right now. But I won't. I'm just going to basically press down on the coils down there at the foot. And I'll come back with tools and actually tool this. So this is the second leg. So you look how nice this is. It's actually quite well. Versus this. Okay. I will try to get it in shot. I'll start by using do some pinch action like this. At least get it started. Or maybe I'll try to see if I can't go all the way through with it like this. It just seems way more effective. Because it's like I said, it's a weird material. It's almost like it melts with the heat of between the movement and the heat of your hand. See, look how that did. And the less I press down on it and just allow the gentle pressure of the presence of my finger to influence it, the less it's going to tear and do all the other stuff. Let's see if I can do this a little bit better than the last one. Be a little gentler and make sure I get the rotation right with my left hand. Like right here in the knee, it would change the pivot area to like this. Just something to kind of be conscious about. But trying to get clay on these legs in a uniform manner that's obviously uniform, because I already used that word, but also stable, has a little bit of strength to it and all. That's the challenge. There's a million ways to do it. I'm doing it this way. and I already see that it's working. Alright, I gotta be really careful because that's what happened last time. My thumb and index finger, pointer finger, whichever one you call that, needs to be moving correctly with my wrist, my left wrist. And it's the motion, the repeated movement of the clay itself, touching it, makes it almost wet. It melts. Look how nice that did. And it didn't split by the knee. All those coils are practically gone. Those could be sanded away. I'm gonna do a little bit right here. Amazing. This is working for me quite well. Wow. Up here a little bit. You can see how it looks like it's getting wet. And it may be sweat. I'm sweating it. But that's okay. It actually says somewhere on there that you can use light water on it to help speed up the process. So that's all that's happening, is when I get the sweat from my hands will literally help speed up the cure, so to speak. It's definitely different stuff. Having different windows to work with. Uh-oh, Tigger jumped down. He's been in the chair, my other computer chair, almost all day. Sleeping, looking all cute. And the firmness of this, I can feel it somewhat firming up on me. This is still quite workable. It's a very little amount too, the leftover. I'm not gonna sweat that. I will make some more. So now we'll move to leg 3, which is right here. Now, yeah, Tigger wants out. He's the boss too. I have to let him out. His Majesty will not be happy if I don't. Hi, baby boy. What you doing? You going out there? Alright, see you later. I don't know how he done it, but I love that cat so much. Had him, what, 10 years, 12 years, 11 years? I can't believe it. I remember when I first dropped him. Uh-oh, cat's out of the bag. I brought our kittens home, Tigger and Chloe, and I was holding Tigger. He was like this big. Just this tiny little thing. And it is totally my fault. I just assumed that he knew what he was doing. He's a baby. We brought him home as soon as we possibly could, before it was like not good to separate it from the parent. Anyways, I had him like on my shoulder, and he was climbing on me, and he fell. He fell and he hit the ground by a few feet. Oh my god, this is sounding horrible. I cried hysterically, and he basically was perfectly fine. He didn't get hurt. Well, I'm pretty sure it hurt, but he was fine afterwards. And honestly, I never had a cat so young. I've always got them when they're strays, or just took them in, or my sister maybe as a kid, she would just bring them home, and I don't know, we were collecting cats. But I just didn't really know that they were not, anyways. I actually literally did drop him when I brought him home, and it's not funny or a joke or anything. I absolutely did not mean that. And he's a great cat. It didn't hurt him or affect him or anything. Ooh, Gus. Of all the things to be talking about. It was an accident. If, you know, that's a thing that happens sometimes. Can't predict everything. Can't know everything. You know, you have to start somewhere with knowledge. And I'm a lot more careful with a lot of things. That's a long time ago. 12 years ago. I'm a little wiser now. I tell you one thing, I wouldn't put a kitten on my, let him climb on me. But anyhow, not trying to bring the room down. Oh gosh, just forget everything I just said. Sorry. We're live here. I cannot believe how nice these are turning out. That is really, 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 really good. To change the subject. Change the subject. So, cats really do have a Yes, they're very inspiring. Like if you're feeling stressed or tired or whatever, a cat can help inspire you to take a nap. Or he actually sleeps in my arm every night. I actually have do I have a YouTube short? I think I might have made a YouTube short with this cat, how he sleeps in my arm. Yeah, I do. Which is great. But every once in a while, it's annoying. You know, wanting to spread out or roll around or whatever, and he's got this bad habit. He wants to start by sitting on my chest. But he's 23 pounds, which is also not good. I don't mean that. I didn't mean that. That he's that big. It wasn't. It was never cute, and we've been constantly trying to change his diets and things like that. So I did these in the order that I put them on there to help. So this number 1 would be even firmer now. Go like this, and yeah, it's still. I watched it separate right here between these two areas. I don't know if right here between this coil and this coil, which is fine. As it gets firmer, you could take a tool, like a dotting tool or whatever, like say we take like this right here. You basically would just push and make an indentation around there, and then put another piece of clay back, and then it's fine. You don't have to worry about that. Also, there's going to be cause clay, a skin layer of, you know, probably that thick going around this, so it's not that huge of an issue. When this cures, it's going to be very, very very stable. I could do like a key almost, where it just dot 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 like this, like a stitch, indent it, and then put a snake in there, and that would act like a lock. Ooh, almost got it. There's gnats in here. I don't know why. I was just trying to double check these coils, and not just that, I'm double checking the thickness of the legs. And it's also it's joining together down there with the knee. It looks really, really good. My eye is on this gnat flying around. I'm trying not to. Oh. They terrorize me. So this is the last one I did, leg number 4, and because I'm doing it in the order, it's had time to sit here and set up a little bit. This was put on rather early, so we're going to see how this one does. Look how nice these are. Alright, stay focused. Stay focused. Sounds like our neighbors are out playing and running around out there. And I'm surprised Willis has not ran out there because he likes to bark at him and run along the fence and stuff. And he is such a good dog, and I'm so lucky to have that dog. We got him from a couple friends of ours. I helped clear property, and they had a litter of puppies, and they were selling them. And we wound up getting one of the puppies for free, which is a huge blessing because we can't afford animals like that. And ever since we've got him, it's been like a mental improvement. He's helped me on like multiple levels. All right, right here on the knee. Let's do that next. Well, really, I started by going like this, remember? It's just going like this. I'm kind of pinching in a like a diamond or a triangle or a square. Forms a square, that little hole. You just gotta offset it like here, this and this. Gotcha. All right, I think I got them all. All of the gnats are killed or dealt with. You just move it all around. That way you don't make a square pipe. It's kind of the benefit to going like this. I'm gently adding that pressure, like super gentle pressure, and rolling it, letting the material itself kind of settle and move with the movement. This is going to be a really good foundation for the cause clay. Or if I wanted to, I could come back with more of this stuff and literally put it like a sheet on, a layer on, and add details and obviously the different times that it would need. I don't quite have, like, I've never used this clay to actually sculpt, like sculpt, and that is going to be faults one day. I swear I'm gonna get maybe a medium-sized bucket of this, and I'm gonna make me something, anything. The nice thing about it is that it wouldn't have to be limited to the size of the oven or the height. You know, that's not a deal breaker either. You can make a homemade oven. I know of a guy who did. He basically took the guts out of an oven and he built a wood frame, insulated it with fiberglass, and he winds up cooking things for like a really long time. It takes a while for it to build heat. He lets it build up in the heat, and then I think that would be awesome to do, but I wouldn't want it inside the house. Not because of odors or anything, but because it's just homemade. And I don't think his is inside the house either. It's in a garage or something, or shed. You know, I don't want to burn the house down. When you start taking equipment apart and using the parts to repurpose it, it can be tricky. And if there ever was a fire, they see that thing, you would instantly know that it was a wood frame. The metal would be there, and they're real smart on figuring out how fire started, and that would be no insurance on a house. You want to protect your home. You don't want to cause fires. Plus, Smokey the Bear, he don't like that either. It would upset him. I don't know if any of y'all know Smokey the Bear. I'm not that old, but I'm old enough to know him. I'll be 46 this August. Next month. It's actually on the 15th. Maybe I'll do a stream or something on my birthday. Come say hi to everybody. Maybe make something. I can't believe how well this is working for me. I want to do this one a little bit more. I know it probably seems weird me spinning this thing around, but it's how I'm doing it. It's how I'm achieving this. You see how it gets shiny again? It's like touching it, just the movement of it, the agitation of it brings out the materials, the moisture to the material, and which helps me in what I'm doing. You'll see it when I work the body too. I'll be rolling some of this out in the posh machine and some sheets, into some sheets, and I'll wrap it. Alright, see, I just went, now that's leg 4. This is the one I was just on. I'll go one more time and just make sure the thickness is the same. I can pinch or just move the clay basically until it melts into the shape that I want, so to speak. Down here. The poor dinosaur is probably ready to throw up. It's like, quit spinning me around. It's going to be the dizziest dinosaur of them all. Hey, spinning your dinosaur is a natural step in making a nice, good dinosaur. They all get spun around. I kill me. Alright, so tools. Looking for just flat, kind of spatula type tools, pretty much. We could probably go with this, or this. Or even this, it's got an angle to it, which is better because I can have my hand off of the surface versus this. I can't do that. In fact, I ought to bend this. Bend them all. Why would I ever need it to be super flat like that? I don't know. I've bent a couple. I've bent this. This was flat. This one, see how it wiggles? I bent that to where it's more usable. But I'll use this, and I'll start with leg 1. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to start shaping this. I'll compress it. I'll try to do it where you can see. Little tails in the way. This, I do believe, no, this was the angle, the one that had the sharpest angle over here, leg 4. This one was fairly okay, but we know that the circle, the bar went down like here. The armature wire came down like this, and then the circle came out this way. Or did it? Do I have a picture of this thing? I could have took a picture of it. But what I'm trying to do, or I'm thinking about doing, is just push it in the back closer to the leg right here. You see that? Okay. And then this part will be bigger over here. I don't know if it's going to actually work for me like that, but I just compress this, flatten it out a little bit, take it away from that Hershey's Kiss look and more of a flat. I'm just basically squishing down like this. in those areas. But not in the back. I'm trying to get it to where the back is flat with the back of that wire. And I can take 2 of these because it's widening up on me, and squish it like this. Keep in mind, these are going to go inside clay. And the image, that if you look at it, it's really, he's got big old feet on him. So I'm not too worried about it. That excess pad that I used to create a clean bottom, I'm just going to cut that off, and you have to forgive the angle. I know I'm out of shot right now. But I'm just cutting basically up to the round area. There, you can see that. Get that excess clay off. It'll help me see what's going on here. There we go. And this, you see how it's a little firmer? It's actually still toolable. This can be squished together. Now, would I coil this, try to coil this? Probably not. But I probably won't be doing much with this. And same with this. I probably could have wrapped it around the tail or something. I wasn't thinking. And it's not that much material. So just let it sit right here. That's something you actually you want to try to avoid. I could try to work it on the tail or something right now, but I don't want these feet to get away from me. Because what's worse, losing that, like that getting away from me, or trying to save this one piece doing something else, and when I'm not even sure if it's, I like to follow the same form that I did with everything else, if that makes sense. So I just cut that excess off down there. Hello, how you doing? Thanks for stopping by. Or perhaps you were just here for a while, just now saying hi. Dinosaurus Rex. I think a T-Rex would be pretty cool to make. All kidding aside. Really, every dinosaur there is would be pretty cool to make. I like reptiles. I like reptiles anyways. So this is a little bit firmer where it's set up some. I'm just trying to get the weird hard corners where I cut the excess down there. But it's not bending too much. Like what if I touch it and all, it won't smush like it was when I first coiled these. I am going to try to, haha, looky there. This will give me a uniform height all the way around this coin that's going to be basically the armature of the foot. And like I had mentioned, you could put some sand work into this, even though you're going to put clay on top. You could do a little sanding. So this is kind of the look I'm going for right here. There's no real weird, crazy angles down here. It's somewhat like a coin. Now you can see the impression of that metal down there. It's right here. Watch. Oh, I thought this would draw along there, but it's not. So the clay has actually smushed out a little here and there. But like I had just said, this could be tooled. I can carve it. I can carve pieces of it off. I'm not too concerned with that. What I want to do now is just move on to this next foot. Oops. Alright, that should be in focus. I just went a little closer. Alright, so this is the head. So this is the front of the foot. See how this one is more what I was looking for, where it's kind of flat with the wire back here? Like the back of the foot. Back here it did a little differently. And I can fix that with sanding if I need to, or I think it's fine, to be honest. So keeping that in mind, this is the back. And so right here in the front, I'll begin pressing it down. Just a little, trying to get a somewhat flat surface where it's not like a Hershey's Kiss. And I can take some of this soft stuff, or it's not soft, it's kind of set up a little bit, and put it in here. It's a little shallow, and that went onto that really well. This is actually real suitable for filling in this stage. Using clay of the same stage can be quite useful, but then again, depending on what you're doing, if it needs to have a lot of detail, you'd want this. If you're trying to bond two pieces together, you'd probably want something fresh. Roll up some fresh pieces. And I'm not too worried about how pretty this looks. What I'm focusing on is a somewhat flat surface. It's not too high. Like this one's even it's a little high back here. Just where it's kind of uniform. Then I'll look at it. This one's actually looking way better than the previous one. And that's that experience thing I was telling you about. It's just how it works. When you learning something, you get better as you go. And if you're literally learning at the moment, you'll get better. If you're doing several things, you'll see it in your work. At least that's how it works for me. Cut this excess off. I do believe I focused it to right here. It looks like it's in focus. I still have yet to move this TV over to where it's in front of me. That'll take up desk space, my crafting area. But I thought I could actually slide the whole wood out, this thing out more. I would like to have, or maybe a separate monitor to where I can see the image. And also, I could probably be running a tablet right now for the comments. But it's not set up. It's not set up really smart for live streaming. Just say. It's not terrible, but it could be better. And my apologies from cutting and stuff out of shot. I'm basically just cutting along this foot, cutting that pad off as close to it as I can. Actually, see, like that. You can even cut the little corners off to reduce the amount of work that I'm doing. That actually did well. Ooh, that's never go like that with your razor blade. Oh my goodness. I'm actually afraid of sharp stuff now because I'm on aspirin. Because of my leg, my blood system. There he goes. Willis is finally talking to the neighbors. Took him a while. I was waiting for it. He does this nice bay or howl or whatever you want to call that. The hound dog. It's not like a typical bark. It can still be annoying to some neighbors. But you know what? I think they'll all live. They'll get over it. I like it. I like the sound of his. But he's getting a little older, and now he's in the stage where he's trying to show us that he's a guard dog. Like he's on duty, even though he don't need to do that. I'm here 24/7. I'm basically the security, not him. All he has to do, I told him, all you gotta do is look cute. That's your job, Willis, just to be cute. You don't gotta. I mean, if someone's busting in the house in the middle of the night, I'm gonna hear it too. I mean, you can bark, but anyhow. Moving on to this next foot. It's somewhat firmer. My wife's out there talking to the neighbors. We have some pretty good neighbors, fortunately. I know that can be a very, very different story sometimes. So, are you in focus? I guess I can't keep worrying about that. But see how it's good not to have a whole bunch of this stuff mixed up? The Apoxie Sculpt? It's taking me some time to get this stuff squared away. I say squared away, but they're round. And it would just be stuff that's gonna set up. Like this is it's getting really, really difficult to press together these little pieces. But I do believe, you know what? Actually, that's because I made the platform, the little square pieces, I did that first, if you remember. So this had the longest time to set up, and you can feel it. It's actually way stiffer. All our neighbors, they all have four-wheelers and ATVs. Well, that's a fuller. UTVs and stuff. I have a weed eater. I would run around, while they all do their derby in their yards and stuff with the four-wheeler, I would run out there with the dog. I would be my own four-wheeler, and it would be, I'm being healthy, I'm not polluting the environment, and I'm spending some time with the dog, which is good for him. You know, when you can't have the things that everybody else has around you, you have to be positive about life and what's going on. You know, you just gotta try to stay positive. And then now my leg, I can't be running around at all. I haven't ran. I haven't ran 2 steps since this thing's happened to my leg. Oh, by the way, not this Monday, next Monday, I go in for imaging. They're gonna take a look-see, and I cannot wait. I'm so looking forward to finding out what's going on with my leg. These feet don't look bad at all. I mean, you know, relatively speaking. Trying to follow the same rules and principles that I've invented for the other feet, which is a somewhat flat top like this. So even that, that's doing the clay. I like this stuff. Apoxie Sculpt. And look how much I have left. A lot. I could technically probably do this whole sculpture. It's a pound. This is not a 1 pound sculpture. Last foot. And then we can move on to the body. We're at an hour. That should go a little quicker than this. Is obviously more intricate and harder to do than the body. I'm gonna guess. I'm not too worried about it, to be honest. I'm hanging out with my people. I'm checking on comments every now and then. Alright, nothing new. Nothing new. Gotta do my job, you know what I mean? I gotta talk with y'all. In another universe, I probably would have a four-wheeler. Had I played my cards differently. I don't feel like it's that important. You know what's important? Love. It's not material things. That's not, I don't believe that's what's important. It's finding love, peace with yourself, and maybe getting a dog. Man, if you've been on the fence with ever getting a dog, let me be the first to tell you, you should try that. And you do even better, rescue a dog. Save a dog from a horrible situation. I think that would be pretty awesome. I never really had a dog, especially as an adult. I think I had one when I was really young, but I don't really remember it. And with my autism, I didn't spend time with it, and I was a bit odd as a child. In fact, my neighbors wound up taking that dog and keeping it for themselves, and I didn't even I saw them running and playing with them and all, and in my weird disconnected way, I was like, that's better than what I'm doing. At least looking back, reflecting with my mind, my adult mind. And I never really had a dog since. When I was really little, I was bit. I got bit in the butt by a Doberman Pinscher. 2 of them came running out of a garage, and I turned around just in time to get bit in the butt. And the owner, oh my gosh, the guy that owned the dogs was even scarier than these dogs. It was a little girl I used to play with down the road. She had an Atari and Pac-Man. And that's not why I was hanging out with her, but I would visit her and we would play Atari. It's a gaming console before. It's like one of the first ones, not the first one, but back when they were just like Pong and Donkey Kong and really really retro old games. And I was just leaving. I got done playing Pac-Man and I was leaving and they opened that garage door. That dog come running out. And you know, I'd never been bit before. I knew they could be dangerous in a way, but I never really truly understood the significance of it until one bit me. Talk about changing your concept. And ever since I've been afraid of dogs. But these people I had, friends we had made recently, they have blue tick coonhounds. And when I first met this dog, it was a boy and a girl dog. They had a litter already, and they were getting ready to have another litter. And when I first went in there and I saw this dog for the first time, I remember him like just standing there, like looking, but not doing anything, not saying anything. And I'm like, whoa, is this dog fixing to bite me? And she was like, no, that's just how they think. They just sit and they think a minute before they. And even Willis, I'll be like, come on, Willis, come inside. He'll just kind of lower his head and give it a thought. But then, so I'm like, I was getting really nervous. But what happened was he just basically shook it off and like came running up to me and stood beside me, and he was very chill. Like he was hanging out by my side. And he's very country. And I immediately fell in love with these people's dog. I'm like, wow, I want your dog, which is something I never say. And they're like, yeah, right, you're crazy. You're not getting our dog. But later on, I cleared some property for them, and I wound up getting one of the puppies. It's actually the largest of the litter, Willis. He's the biggest. And I don't know if it's okay for me saying this, he was the wimpiest. Because I remember I would watch him play with the other dogs, wrestle and kind of fight. He would bite or grab at one of them. They would turn around and to return it. And he'd be like, oh no, and he would run away. Which I'm like, yes, that's my dog. That's the one we wound up getting. And he's the kind that's white and black. Obviously, you've seen videos of him. He had some brothers and sisters that were blue. And his mama's blue, has the blue in her. And his daddy looks just like Willis, pretty much. Well, spots are different, obviously. And I'm not going to say I'm not afraid of dogs anymore. But I will say that I'm not afraid of that dog. I don't know if that makes sense or not. He's helped me a lot emotionally. I've always questioned people having animals as service animals. Like, is this needed? You know what, honestly, it may not be needed in the middle of Golden Corral or like a restaurant when you're trying to eat food. That's kind of a debate, I guess. I didn't really want to get in the middle of a debate on that. But people bring them in Walmart and stuff, and the older me that didn't care for dogs too much, I'd be like, I can't believe these people are bringing dog. Why has he got a dog in the cart? It's just stuff like that. Of course, that's probably not a good thing either. People put food in those carts. I try not to be judgmental about anything, like neutral. But now I totally get the whole service animal aspect of it. Alright, this knee right here is where it's separated. So when I mix up some new clay to do the body, I'm gonna just put some in there and like pack it and see what we can do with that. At the very least, the skin of the cos clay would hold out all that, it would lock it all in there. But we have the legs completely wrapped and the feet formed. You can see the feet. I'll take the foot off of the. See how that turned out. It's actually quite nice. It's staying true to the actual armature itself, which I will diversify with the green clay when it comes time to that. I'm gonna put a little bit more softener in this. Make sure I got a good material to work with. So now I'm gonna move this soft or hard stuff to the side. All right. And mix up a little bit more, actually quite a bit. I'll do a little at a time. I mean, I can work it onto the sculpture rather quickly. I'm not worried about this getting like away from me, metaphorically speaking. And it's quite a bit of surface area too. It's easier to mix a smaller amount at a time. Like I'll be bold and I'll do something like this big white one right there. I know I'm gonna use it. Oh, another gnat. Get out of here. Quit trying to be famous. I'm not even famous. Right. Are these roughly the same size? Yes. I like it. Hello. Diamond painting cutie? Painting cutie? Thank you for stopping by. Or just saying hi. It's been 4 since the whole thing, so I think it just takes people time to warm up. I think they realize that I'm not gonna bite them. And I really welcome you saying hello. I realize people can watch this after the fact. That's the whole purpose of it. It's like a DVR type thing. But during it, it's a lot nice. It's pretty nice having the people to talk to. And I'm pretty sure when you watch this back, there's a way to watch it kind of live in the same manner that it was live. Meaning where the comments actually play out in the same way that they do during the live stream. I'm not quite sure. If anybody can verify that for me, that'll be awesome. Using the auto configuration wizard for OBS has been a pure win. These streams, it says excellent connection the whole time. And it actually, let me stop moving my hands. Oh goodness. Well, I don't need to continue to stop. Wow. Oh, I'm at least 30 seconds ahead of you. There's like a 30-second delay. So It takes 30 seconds for you to hear what I'm saying, more or less. Which is weird. I feel like I'm in the future. Quite a bit of clay minus the hair. It's starting to separate. Another thing is the more of this you mix, I mean, it's just more, it's more to do, obviously. And you want to do a thorough job. You don't want any like unmixed areas. Going like this and folding it and then folding it is actually probably the most effective way of mixing a material, because each layer you're doubling it, doubling it, doubling it, doubling it, doubling it, and before long the thicknesses of the layers are like molecule size. That's generally kind of what's going on. Just needs to be mixed. Alright, so I am going to start with half of this, and I'm going to put it through the Apoxie machine. I'm going to be in the way. Yeah, it doesn't even really look like there's much debris on those rollers. I'll clean the rollers off with like a cleaner, something to, preferably like soon. It takes 24 hours to cure anyways. But I want to do half thickness for the body. This is half thickness. Where are you at? Right here. Setting 3. There's some cause clay in this to help it come off easy and kind of smoothen this. This is the same core thing I used to make the mouth. Here's what I had made in the stream. This was the mouth, which it turned out it looks fine. It looks fine, but you know what? I'm rusty. I'm rusty at what I'm doing because I've been gone for so long. I forgot to put TLS, the liquid sculpting. See how that separates right there? It's not like a deal breaker, but being that I'm trying something new, using the clay as a shell instead of this stuff. Where's he at? Oh, this Apoxie Sculpt makes it great advanced armature shells for something, oh, here's the other part right here. I wanted to, I just had that mishap with the electric tape. Oh, I can show you the teeth. Like, look how well this stuff is. I'm like roughhousing them quite a bit and getting it really dirty with this stuff. But I'm starting new with that. That's what this is. It's the exact same core. This thing that I've made is foil with electric tape around it. I wrapped that with the Apoxie Sculpt, so it's the same exact size. I'll do the same exact thing I did for this on that. Not in this video. This is just getting all the tape covered and the legs built out a little bit. And I can zoom out now. I don't need to be quite there, and we'll focus to right here on my finger. That should be good. Let me run this through the Apoxie machine. I got it on setting 4. See, the thicker I do it, the more material it's going to take, but the stronger this shell will be. That is not a lot of square footage, but it's actually quite a bit. I'm going to really quickly mix up another ball. Because that's really, really loose. I have at least a few minutes. It doesn't take off that quickly, but if you look up this stuff, it'll show you the different time frames, the different windows of workability. There he's out there again. He hears something catty corner from us out in the back, and he'll stand out there and just bark. And you know, I call him out on it. I'm like, Willis, you have an amazing sniffer, not ears. Those big droopy ears aren't made for hearing. I mean, you can hear obviously, but your talent is smelling the future with your incredible sniffy sniff. It ain't hearing. I'm out here, I don't hear it, so you ain't out here. I argue with them sometimes. I cleaned my hands, and I don't know why. I'm fixing to mix this back up. But I love that dog. I was just making a funny joke with my wife earlier. I'm like, babe, you know, when we call him in here, we're like, Willis, get in here. Quit barking and get in here. He ain't listening because we ain't speaking his language. Because he's country, you know, that he's a hound dog, so he's. I said you gotta speak his language. You gotta, Will, get on in here. You talk like a hillbilly or something, and then he'll understand you. He'll look right at me like, oh, okay. And I'm terrible. My hillbilly is terrible. Sorry, but you know that what's that movie? Is that Fox and the Hound? Oh my gosh, what is it? Oh, it's Aristocats, I think. It's an animated cartoon, you know, the old style where they actually hand drew stuff. And there's this hound dog in there, and he was like, "Wait a minute, I'm the leader. I'll say when we go." Country, he has a very country dog. I kind of picture Willis talking like that. Oh, whatever. Absolutely love that. I love that dog in that cartoon, the way he talks. I'm mixing on high speed. I'm fast forwarding. Not really. Nice and fluffy and sticky. This should be enough to get me going. I'm just working with smaller and more manageable pieces. And like I said, I caution anybody for putting this stuff in your pasta machine. I actually recommend not doing that because it's not practical. It's unorthodox. This is a very messy material, and if you're not able to clean it out of that, your wife will get mad at you. Okay, so now, starting with these ones back here, I can start working this on. And I'm going to go with the belly first. I feel like that's a good place to start. It's a very difficult, it can be in a difficult area. Basically, working out any bubbles from this point, and it's okay if it runs up on that leg. That's actually good. It's what I wanted to do. And it should, that's good. It stays is. And I'll pull off any weird areas that's like unruly. All this can stay. I'm not going to focus too much on like cutting clean edges and stuff. I will just, this is still really soft. We're not going to, that's not waste. But see how that did the belly? I got to leave these here. But the belly is, it stops like right around here. So I just bring another piece. It tears. You gotta be careful moving it. So let's see if I can show this on camera. I'll bring this down to where that's laying really nice. Just really, really nice. How that just did. Don't quite need that to run on that leg that much, but this is going to be built out. I can just remember to put a couple pieces here, or it's going to be clay. You know, this just needs to be a firm structure to hold it everything in place for the polymer clay underneath. Or if I decide to get crazy, I can build the whole thing with Apoxie Sculpt. I'm not sure if I'm ready for that right yet, but I really, really do want to one day build something with the Apoxie Sculpt. I didn't quite get this off of my fingers yet, but that's fine. In the middle of messing with this. I don't, however, need fuzz and stuff. Stuck. Oh. I think it respawns. I kill it and it'll respawn somewhere and just fly back. I've played too many video games in my life. That's what that means. Okay, so laying this right here, and I will drape it. You can see that it's in the shot. I'm going to drape it to where I at least overlap that a little bit. It don't necessarily have to be perfect. I'll actually want it to slightly overlap, to be honest. Which that's a slight overlap. This right here is slightly overlapped. And I'll tear this off that leg. That actually worked out nice. And what's cool about this is the legs are done set up enough to where touching it don't leave fingerprints. See that fingerprint I just left there? And it's melting kind of like in my hand, all melty. That's the benefit of this working in different stages, the different work times and whatnot. So I got clay right here, so I'll rip that excess off. I hope you can see what I'm doing. I'm in the shot. I could put another piece down here. There's an armpit area right here. I'll do it right now. I'll put a little snake, or just put a little piece right here. Bam. Filled. Right here there's clay around this armpit. It actually is wrapping rather nicely. Does it look nice? No, it don't look nice. But I haven't started, you know, like really working it on there yet. Look at all the dents. I don't know if you can see that with the particular settings on the camera and OBS. But there is like dents all in this from my fingers. It's rather soft. It's rather sticky. Okay. I'm gonna try to see the shape of this. It's like a football or whatever that is, in a little whatever that is. I'm gonna try to cut that somewhat right now, right here. So that cuts really nicely. So it looks like it comes like this, in, and then I don't know. I know I don't need all of that. We'll give it a shot. I can basically overlap. See this right here? I'm overlapping slightly. That just ensures there's plenty of clay in that area. And it doesn't really make that huge of a difference. If it did, I can sand it. I can leave it like that and just sand that to where you didn't see it no more, if I wanted to. But I'm trying to be efficient with the clay. I think setting, this is a half thickness of the pos machine. I think that's really fine with just kind of looking in there, here and there. Looks like it does something like this. Roll it off, tear it off. Don't matter a whole lot. Peel it back, it goes back this way. It actually sticks to the other stuff. It won't unroll. It kind of is very telling right there. Look how that happened. How that did. See what it did? See what it did? This is going on like light speed compared to the legs. Legs just take forever. And just kind of go like this. Remember I told you that just rapid movements and between the warmth of my finger, thumb, my big finger right here. It does nicely. And it's actually turning out nicely. There's a little shallow area right there. You use just a little piece, Just stick it on there and squish it around. Do this number here. It joins with itself really nice. It's almost like a liquid. Almost certainly like a liquid in a state that you're not used to. Like extreme viscosity or whatever. I'm using words I don't know. My bad. It's just a very super slow moving liquid. How about that? Which, you know, you can kind of argue that a lot of things on the planet are the same manner as that. Like even continents and stuff, they're all moving around like really, really slow. It's all about perception. If you're looking at it with the mortal life of a human, you're not seeing much of anything. You can't even watch a tree grow. I mean, it's not fair that we don't get to live this long enough to grow, watch an oak tree grow from a baby little plant to a full size majestic tree and then even die. We don't, one day we will. One day we absolutely will. It's called technology. But right now we can't. So our perspective is very skewed to our time frame that we are allowed to live. Getting a little philosophical on you. This is working out quite nice. Just, I'm like wiggle, 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 wiggle. With my thumb, just wiggling my thumb like that. Wiggle, you can see there's good. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. That whole line's gone now. The seam. I have never wrapped anything on this magnitude with the cause clay, or this epoxy sculpt. This is still soft. I'm gonna run this through that machine one more time. Because we got the neck area and the tail right here, which, what's that? You know what? That coiling business is just for the snakes. I'm going to try something a little different. I'm going to make sure it overlaps on that other clay, like this. Bring it around, work the air out of it like this. Sandwich it. Why not? Ooh, my leg. I have to reposition my... It's actually kind of hard to sit in this chair for a long time. And I'm coming up on 2.5 hours. I'm actually an hour ahead. Then I remember it was 2. We'll actually build the mouth too. So I just come back and kill a gnat. Maybe use this. It ain't perfect, but now there's even less clay that's unruly. Then maybe come back like this and do this. It leaves like a fin. Like that could be part of the design, you know, you're making fins like a stegosaurus. Then I would just leave these and I would add the other pieces to it later or something. But I'm not making a stegosaurus, I'm making a good dinosaur. Not like exactly. In case you happen to be Pixar and watching this, which I highly doubt it. I promise you I'm not copying you. It's going to look nothing like it when I'm done. That elephant I made looks nothing like the original. Mine looks happy. So then I just work this. Maybe do the little, this number here. That actually worked really, really good. It's on there. And remember, this is very soft. It feels like it's wet, like it moves in a way, in a manner that would imply that it's wet. So letting it take up a little bit will be helpful. That was probably more clay than I needed right there, but it don't matter because we can just, I can still hold it by this. I can hold it by the head. Like a tool, maybe this. Somewhat frequent rapid movements helps it flow. Oops. Helps it flow together. Because we mixed this so soon ago. So soon ago. Oh my gosh. I may be helping people sculpt a little bit, but I sure ain't helping people talk better. So if you're a foreigner, I apologize. I'm not helping you learn the language at all. If it makes you feel any better, I don't know it either. I just kind of use words every now and then. Little piece right here. This is actually looking really good. It looks better than what I had. See, I never did bake that clay that was on there. I have a habit of leaving my sculpture for a day or two, you know, because I might be busy or, you know, the real world things. I have to stop for a minute or whatever, you know, for whatever reason, and then I'll return to it, which is okay. Polymer clay will sit and wait for you for a long time. I mean, longer than you need. As long as you have it on a non-porous surface, it won't draw the oils and stuff out of there. All that stuff. Just to be clear, this is not polymer clay I'm working with, if anybody just tuned in, which they haven't. I appreciate y'all for hanging out with me all this time. I thoroughly enjoy doing this. I love streaming. It's nice. This is would have been a lot of stuff to edit in a you know, video. Right here we have a little bit of a seam. Let's go like this. Rolling my thumb on there. It works better with like rapid presses like this will help flow the clay together versus trying to drag it. It wants to tear. Something I noticed. You don't want to rest your fingers and just let them hang out. They'll melt right into that. So now I just kind of do like a bunch of this. Maybe a little bit more right here where I added. And you could totally feel the difference between this leg right here. But I just squeezed that. I put a dent in that. So that's what I was saying. It's not like you don't lose the workability, but it's not this. It's not liquid. This is actually ready for tools. Like you put a dotting tool on there. You put like your impressions and stuff, bam, now you got a little dent. Like if you needed pits and crevices and stuff, you wouldn't really want to do it now. I mean, you can. You get what I'm trying to say. Hopefully. Hopefully. I forgot to ask my wife to share this stream to my social media and hers, which ain't helpful. I'm trying to get people to watch them and help me wrangle that watch time. I'm gonna put a little bit there in the armpit, right here, like that. That looks good. Maybe a little more on this one. It's just, looks like I already probably added a little. It's just where it's kind of unruly, and this works really, really nice. The way this all goes on is really nice. I jumped out here on this stream talking, I'm gonna do this stream, and as soon as I'm done, I'm doing butterfly earrings. And I don't think I'm at 8:30. I technically could, but I don't want to start something and immediately be tired and not be able to follow through with it. So what I can do is I could do a stream tomorrow. Let me know if that sounds like it would be interesting. Here, hold on a second. Oops. Those are lavender butterfly earring, or they're just butterfly wings from a cane with yellow accent. Dropped a piece. That was literally the last piece of that cane I had made years ago. It was like this big. I reduced it and I got about 1, 2, 3. It looks like I got 4. I could probably make 4 or 5 sets of earrings with what I got there. And I had some really good luck selling those on Etsy. Plus my wife, I gave a pair to my wife, and I gifted, a few to people at her work. Sometimes that's kind of a smart thing to do, like promotional. May not make no money from it, but it's when you give somebody something that you made, if they like it and they have it and they keep it, in a way you're kind of, in a small way, you're kind of always in their mind, and they're more likely to follow your progress through art and stuff. Maybe not watch all the videos or whatever, but so there was this issue where the leg right here, right, gosh, it's so soft, that clay. So right here, do you see where my thumb is? Oop, there, right there. I'm gonna compress that with this stylus tool. Ooh, it's very, I'm not going to do that at all. I'm going to take a piece of this and I'll wrap it right there. Just to be safe. Call it a band-aid of strength. And you know what, to be honest, the knees are built out anyways. He's got some big old knees on him. So that's perfect. I don't even have to worry about how that looks. That's a good thigh. That's a good thigh. The better I can make this all look, obviously the better for later. But this is a under this is a foundation to another layer of clay, for starters. And for a second, I can technically sand this a little bit. I have sanded this. I don't know if you can see this very well, but there's darker and lighter areas. That's the whole I'm going to turn like this. That's the whole purpose of sanding something. It reveals the high and low areas of it. And I may not be the best sculptor on the internet, but I am really, really good at making things, honing things into like final shapes and stuff. I like working that sandpaper. Of course, for a sculpture that has like wrinkles and details and stuff, like a zombie or a monster or something, you wouldn't sand it at all. So, you know, it's only good for certain applications, not everything, actually. This is actually looking good. The weirdness of the foil and all is making it look actually alive. Like the imperfections of it is adding to unforeseen realism, if that makes sense. I recently had a comment like that. Someone saying something in the same regards. Now, before I get ahead of myself and I forget, I'm about to add a little bit of comedy to this stream. This is going to be completely enclosed, so when I do bake it, there's going to be internal pressures and stuff, and I don't really want that to happen. Right here it needs to be fixed, where I had added quite a bit of clay in that. Sorry if you can't see that. I can't get over how nice this is turning out anyways. So anyways, I'm going to find me a tool. Here we go. Looks like a good candidate. It's just a little poker with a bend on it. I'm going to add me a little blowhole, like right here. Just piercing that cosplay or the Apoxie Sculpt, and to where I can visually see the foil or the masking tape underneath it. And that's probably in the correct place for a literal blowhole anyways. So what I'll do is I'll poke that with when this is all hard tomorrow, I'll poke that with a needle into the tape, and it'll allow any kind of pressures to come out through there. So if he's got a little gas, if he has a little gas, it'll come out right there. Oh my gosh. I just lost all my subscribers. I'm sure of it. Anyways, I'm not just being funny. It's a literal thing. Sometimes it's a vessel. This is a vessel. A dino vessel. And when you put a vessel in a heated environment, it changes the pressure and the gases inside it. And the very atmosphere we're breathing is full of gases. It just means air. It can mean air too. So it doesn't mean he's farting. But if he has to fart, now he has the anatomical. Okay, whatever. You get the idea. I'll just stop. Right there. I won't quit my day job. I know I'm not a comedian. I don't have a day job. This is my day job. I'm a content creator on YouTube, and I make things for y'all wonderful people. Kaoline hears me crashing and burning. Oh, y'all are probably just now hearing about the blowhole, the gas releaser. At least it's in a believable place. You know what I mean? Oh, it'll be covered with clay. We're not gonna see it, or we can leave it. Whatever, you know what I mean? I don't know. Whatever. If somebody wants it there, they're like, listen, I'm gonna buy this dinosaur, and you leave that blowhole right there. I'll leave it. You know what I mean? Whatever. I don't care. I have no preference. I just don't want it to. I don't want it to swell and expand. Look at that. Look at the. I know this is not the correct. I need a darker. This is almost the same color as this, so my bad. That doesn't really help. A little bit. Look at how nice this looks. Wow, this is crazy good. I don't really see many air bubbles. Do I want to use this? It's very little amount. It won't finish the job, so you know what? I won't. I'll have to think of something. If you got any ideas of how I can be less wasteful, relatively speaking, if this is all that I wasted out of all of that. I mean, I get this all done. It can't be that terrible, but I am so against wasting stuff. Mainly because I can't, it's expensive. This stuff, like this foot. It's getting stiffer. So I got this kind of really looking nice with my fingers going like this, kind of rolling it. Just doing that and making sure there's everything flows around where it needs to go. Like liquid. It flows like liquid. So after a while, after it sit for a while, you come back with a tool like this and you can do details. Look at that. Look at that, what I struck it. I struck it with the tool. Like that. Oh my goodness. But see, this is not the material. This is just a foundation to the actual clay that I intend on using. But I might get crazy. And man, soon, one day I'm going to build a sculpture with just this stuff. I promise you. Unless I croak. You know what I mean? Then obviously I can't. Now, my apologies, but if I'm alive, I'm gonna do it. Another thing I would love to do is to make a concrete sculpture in my yard, like a big mushroom or something. There's absolutely no way I can afford that type of stuff. So if any of you want to become a member, you can become the 7th member. I've had 6 members for a month and a half. It's only 6, which I'm very thankful. But I'm supposed to push for that, and that's supposed to actually help me as a artist and as a person, because I make about 50 cents, anywhere from 30 to 80 cents a day for a living. I don't know if you can really wrap your mind around that. I basically am completely supported by my wife. I have health care that I just signed up for, the affordable, because I don't make any money. It's actually quite good. I heard that it's like $500 a month for this insurance I have. So I'm super thankful that I'm able to get some kind of help like that. Never got any kind of assistance for anybody or anything, like no government. I never lived off of anybody except my wife. So anybody that automatically thinks, oh man, you're like a freeloader or whatever. No, actually, you haven't paid nothing from me. It was all my wife. Sorry, I'm going off on a weird angle. It's not quite art, but I'm supposed to mention it every now and then. I think my problem is I'm mentioning it in streams. I need to get in a video like, hey y'all, it's been almost 2 months and we still have 6 members. Anybody want to become the 7th? It's a lucky number. I don't know, whatever, just say something. I'm supposed to say something. And once again, that isn't, anybody watching, it's not for you. Future people will watch this and maybe they'll hear it for the 8th time and be like, you know what, why not? It's $2.99. He's making $20 a month. Well, now 30 because I have 10 members. That's the whole idea. Did you know if I get 700 members, I will make more than my wife? It's not a competition. It's not a competition at all. You know what? I would just love to be able to take that woman out to eat one day. Or buy her a gift. Buy her a present. Be a normal person. I definitely don't want a 4-wheeler, but I'd love to be able to. You get the idea. I'm sure, and that's enough of that. If I abandoned the channel, so this is what I get. I will win it back. I'll win everything back, and I will succeed in this. Or I'll just keep doing it because there's nothing else I can do. I have such a hard time going out there and having a job. Even though I work so hard, I'm really good at working, especially laboring. That's why my leg is all busted. I'm a very physical person, and we even talked about pursuing disability for me because I have some mental things going on too, Probably shouldn't mention any of that, but that would be some kind of support and it would help me psychologically. I wouldn't worry as much. I mean, that's always on my mind. Looks like I don't have enough. Just a wee little area right here. Still in focus. I hope I'm in focus. Yeah, it looks like it's focused. So just even smaller amount this time. I could use little pieces here and there. Oh. Make sure, ooh, that'll go in there. Make sure not to mix those. Stick them back in the tub mixed would be a bad idea. There are so many different forms of art. Like welding, working with metal. Oh my gosh. I couldn't even think about buying myself a torch, let alone steel. Of course, I would probably use scrapped junk. Steampunk some junk. Repurpose. There's another word for it where you not upscale it, you upcycle something. I'm really big on that. Trying to reduce your footprint, not consume so much. Turn the lights out. Try to turn the lights out when you leave the room, and even if you're in a position where you don't have to worry about that, it's just why not consume less or draw less around from the world around you, if possible. Now, it could be that you're sitting in your house right now with solar completely off the grid. Then it's not even relevant anymore. Obviously, this doesn't apply to you. I don't believe many people are living like that. A few. But this is still very sticky. The body. Now, I don't need to go all the way up to here. And I've already decided that's how I wanted this to bend and all. Because right now it'd be a little weird trying to bend it. It could be bent right now, especially the soft clay, but it's messy. You'd have to like grab it with pliers and whatever. But in an effort to not waste this, I'll just put it in different little places. Like there's this weird area right here near the vent. Ooh, my leg. I think my leg is telling me I'm almost done. It ain't that I got it covered and everything. My leg is like, all right, maybe it can see what I'm doing. And it's like, yeah, you've been sitting in this chair too long. You need to go. And I can't wait. 1 week from tomorrow, I go in for imaging. I'm really scared, to be honest. I'm scared of doctors. I've never been to a doctor as an adult. So this is like my first time ever going in my, what do you call it, your personal care, or your, I don't even know how you call them, what do you call them. But I went in and basically it was a get to know your doctor and answer a few questions like what's bothering me. And I was so nervous. I left my driver's license there, and I couldn't get them because they were closed the whole weekend. I had to go the following Monday and go get my driver's license. That's how nervous I was. But I'm like, listen, there's something terrible wrong with my leg. I felt like I was gonna die the other day, and I was giving my wife my last words, yada yada yada. And I don't care what you have to do. If you have to take my leg, I don't want to feel like this anymore. And he's like, whoa, 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 ain't nobody taking your leg. I probably made myself look like an idiot. But when I get nervous, I will give you all the information. Talk about things I probably shouldn't. And I was super nervous. But he was a really nice guy. He checked my leg, and for a slight second I thought he's not buying any of this. He's not going to help me. But then he's like, I'm gonna schedule you. I'm gonna get you an appointment for imaging on your leg. And I was like, yes, yes, that's exactly what I want. Let's take a look at my leg. Yes. And I'm happy. If they needed me to do a review, I will do a review and give them 5 stars. It's a good doctor. My wife had him at one point, but her insurance changed, so she had to go obviously somewhere else. So she recommended him, and it's this tiny little office that looks like, and he's got one secretary. It's just 2 people in there, him and a secretary. There's nobody else. So it's kind of small, which I kind of like. These large hospitals and stuff, you're a number. You're going through there, they try to get you in and out, almost like in a restaurant. They may smile at you and tell you, oh, take your time, do whatever it is you got to do. But to be honest, they're trying to turn that table. They absolutely are trying to turn that table. And some are better at others to not make it seem like that. And some people don't even realize it, but it is. Everything's about money, it seems like, in this planet, which is weird. I think I'm an alien from another planet. They came here and gave me to my mama and said, here, watch this one. And she was like, okay. And then, I don't know, it's a very strange world. But then again, I have a really weird view I might talk about all that one day in a video where it's more fitting and I'm not sculpting. I mean, what else am I talking about? I mean, I don't even mention what I'm doing here. I'm making a beautiful armature. So, and I'm about to wrap this up. Anyways, it's still sticky, but it's not really watery, like really super loose. But do you see how, what I was talking about earlier, when you go like this, it kind of makes it shine, it almost like it brings out the moisture? This is what I was meaning by that. And as time goes by, it'll lose its stickiness, and then it'll just be like you can make dents and impressions, and then it'll be like a rock, which is good. Let's double check the vent for gases in case he has gas when I'm baking it. It's still there. Yeah. Oh my god. Hey, if I make somebody laugh, then I think I won, because this is why you're here. You're here to let loose and not necessarily leave all the problems of the world behind, but maybe for a minute, you know what I mean, you can not worry and just get lost in some art or hear something that some crazy artist is telling you. I was almost like, well, where did it go? This is his head. That's the other end. It looks the same right now. So my apologies if I talk about something too serious like being poor, or, well, we're not poor. We make it. We live check to check. I think a lot of people are doing that. And I'm pretty sure my wife is out there flipping out. She don't like me talking about personal things like this. With my autism, sometimes I don't know what I should say or shouldn't say, or even when to shut up. So, sorry, hun, if you're watching this down the road. I didn't mean to. Gotta love me. I'm your baby. Gotta love me. I don't know if any of y'all old enough to remember that show, The Dinosaurs. It's on topic. I think that show is way ahead of itself. They look so good. That little baby dinosaur was like, not the mama. That one, dinosaurs. That show was so way ahead of itself. And you know, they just stopped it, probably because of money. This ain't doing the figures we need, and they just stop a show. Man, I would have watched that. I would still be watching that. But anyways, look at this. Look at this. Here, let me try to, oh, you know what? The legs are better, probably. Here, I'll do this little side. There, look at that. Look at that. It's kind of shiny. It's kind of shiny because that stuff is real early on it. But you can just keep messing with it, messing with it, messing with it. It don't need to be that great, because this is gonna have another coating on top of it. If not cosplay, it could be more of this stuff, because I've used maybe half of it. I have a half a pound left, and that's for details. We don't need a half a pound. The bulk of it is there already. So just to show you, do it like this. I'll turn them like this, and this is top, bottom. See how that kind of gives me the edge to the whole open mouth. Do a shell for mouth so you can have it opened, because that was my struggle. I didn't know how to make an open mouth thing, anything. But you'd be like, this is how you can do it, and this will give you a rough look. Now, of course, it would have a forehead, the eyes and stuff would be built up higher up here, but this just gives you an idea. Hi, how you doing? I hope you enjoyed the stream. My goodness. Anyhow, just hit 3 hours. It's a sign. It's fitting. I'm gonna go ahead and call this a stream. I appreciate the 3-4 people, sometimes 5. I appreciate you guys. I don't know if it's the same people every time, but that's awesome that you're hanging out with me and just being a part of this. You know, if you was wanting to change the shape of the feet, never mind. It gets hard pretty quickly. Well, not quickly, but it's different stages of different things can be done at different stages. And we're going to leave this like this. I'm going to call this a stream, and I will get back with you. I want to do something different than this dinosaur. Relatively speaking, this is my third video, third stream, but the second one is kind of completely pointless, and I'll delete it if I ever get ahead enough in watch time. I'll delete it. But if I delete it right now, I'll lose partnership, because I have 4,002 hours. So when the next day rolls through, it needs to be, it's like 8 hours I'm replacing on the other end of the year. So this stream saves me. I thank you for showing up. You're not just, it's not just for views and money or whatever. I'm trying to maintain partnership and everything. So I thank you for helping me, help supporting me, and chatting with me. You know, I realize I ramble a little bit. It's nervousness, and I'll get a little bit better at that as I go. But one more time, I want to show this at the angle where you can actually view it. Look how nice this looks. It's still an armature. This is not a dinosaur. So don't be confused. In fact, you know what? I can absolutely take those off now. So let's look at that again. Well, you get the idea. It's nice. And I'll leave this until tomorrow night. Around this time, it'll be completely cured. Technically speaking, if I want to be real technical about it, and I can, maybe the next day I can start actually putting the clay on, and I'll wrap this in clay and build the mouth inside it like I did the other one. And this will be Apoxie Sculpt right here, and I'll fit this on. I want the mouth to be built, the tongue, all the teeth and stuff. The inside will be cosplay, and I'll just put Apoxie Sculpt. I'll just smush it down. I haven't figured it out yet, and I'll make my little method. When I get to that bridge, I'll figure that part out. But in the meantime, I would love to pop on here again tomorrow, and so I'm thinking about just doing a little, maybe half-hour, 1-hour stream, building a few earrings. I could show you how I do that live, and I don't know if they'll be worthy of selling, because I'll have to sand them. It's meticulous, but I can at least construct them. I even got the stuff sitting here. Stuff. You know, maybe we could do that tomorrow. I don't know if that sounds interesting. Or I could just sculpt a little face, or just some just move some clay around or whatever. But I like to get on here again more frequently live to build up this watch time. And as the year goes by, since I returned to YouTube, I'm going to be so ahead of watch time, because it's like basically this huge giant thing at the end where I did way better. So as that moves forward, and I'm active now, and I'm not gonna quit. You won't be hearing about it no more. And I'm sorry about mentioning that. You know what I mean? It's not something. It's not y'all's problem. It's mine. I need to make up for lost time and save my channel, which we did. And I'm just gotta maintain that. I'm injured now. My leg is messed up. So sometimes, like literally, like my last stream, I thought it was going to explode. Someone hollered it's bedtime. I'm like, yes, it's totally bedtime. I gotta go. I'm sorry. So I'm trying my best to do it, even while I don't feel good. You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, thank you all for coming and hearing me ramble and make this. This is a surefire thing. It's so gonna be ready for clay, and it's flat. It's laying on there flat. I'm so loving this right now, and I love sculpting with you guys. I really, really appreciate it. But I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream and wash my hands, and I will see you here again soon. Thank you for hanging out with me. If you find yourself becoming a regular watching these streams, maybe next time I'm live you can phone a friend or something. Like try to bring another person in. Let's see if we can get the people watching the number up to 10 or something. You figure it wouldn't be too hard with the amount of subscribers I have. It's a very weird number. It's very inaccurate. But anyhow, being awkward again. I hate ending these things. I wanted to stay on here forever. But I'm going to go ahead and end this. Ooh. Thanks again, everybody. You guys are awesome.